fast.
Okay.
And it costs a bunch of money. Look over the edge here, you're looking right into Tuckerman Ravine. You can see North Conway and follow the highway right up through the bottom of Pinkham Notch. And way down there is where we started.
Oh, yeah.
You saw that on the way up.
This is where the hang gliders take off.
On the way back.
On nice warm days when the warm air is rising and there's not much wind, they come up here, put their kites together, take that first big step and fly all the way down to where we started. These large tanks contain fuel oil, which is pumped up onto the summit, used in the generator that makes the electricity for all the buildings. A couple of times each year, the tanks have to be refilled. There's a train coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead. Channel 2.
A couple of times each year, the tanks have to be refilled, and there are people who drive 18-wheeled tank trucks up the road to do that.
Oh, my gosh.
They can't do it when the road's busy, so they wait till after we close and drive them up after dark. This platform is where they tested jet engines back in the 1950s. They brought them up here in the winter to see what effect ice would have on them.
That's wild. It had to be pretty hairy the first time you drove up here.
I spent 4 years in the Navy as a helicopter pilot, so I'm kind of used to this.
Okay.
Take a look over the edge here.
Right.
It's a long way down. A lot of people think that Mount Adams over there looks a lot taller than Mount Washington. It's because from down in the parking lot, it's a lot closer, stands all by itself, whereas Mount Washington is part of a long ridge and sits back quite a ways. They did a survey a number of years ago using lasers to determine the exact height of every mountain in the range. When they got done, they produced a wonderful map. And just for the heck of it, the surveyors placed a white piece of quartz right down here on the left side of the road, right there. That's at the same height as Mount Adams. Gives you an idea.
Wow.
Gives you an idea of how much taller Mount Washington really is. It can snow up here at any time. Last summer we had enough snow on July 2nd that we had to close the road for the afternoon. I've seen it snow in every month of the year. We would not start a guided tour from the bottom if we knew that it was snowing on top. But the weather does change here very quickly. We could have guests up there enjoying a tour. Cold front could move in, temperature drops, start to snow. We'd have to gather people up and drive them down during a storm.
You had an airplane to land up here once, didn't you?
Yeah, several times. Right here on the road, right here in the cow pasture. You see snow, hon?
It was back then.
Oh.
It was tiny.
Wow.
Most of the road is pretty easy to deal with, even under adverse weather conditions. There's just a couple of spots that give us any difficulty at all if we're up here in a snowstorm. One of them is the hairpin turn just below here. It's dry today, we won't be slipping and sliding, but you might want to hold on as we go around the turn.
Okay.
So do the planes land up here on purpose?
Yes, they were supplying the observatory. This was back in the 1940s, late 40s, early 50s. They were bringing some equipment up to the observatory, and it was in the winter. They had skis on it. He landed on the cow pasture there on the road, and then they came down with sleds from the top and got the stuff that they needed. This is before they really had a snowcat that worked as well as the ones they have now. first ascent to this mountain was made by a gentleman named Darby Field. He lived over on the coast, and on clear days could see the mountains from his home. He was curious about them and decided to come over and visit. Back when Darby Field was around, there were no roads to get here. There weren't even any trails. It was all uncharted wilderness. So he needed some help finding his way. Luckily, he met up with some Native Americans who were over on the coast doing some trading. They agreed to guide him up through the river valleys to the base of the mountain. Once they got that far, the guides refused to go any further because they felt the top of the mountain was sacred ground. If they were to trespass up there, it would mean certain death. So they waited in the valley, and Darby Field climbed the mountain all by himself. He did so in 1642, just 22 years after the Pilgrims landed.
Wow.
The Native Americans who guided him here were from the Abenaki tribe. Their name for the mountain was Agiochachuk, which means dwelling place of the storm spirit.
Just beautiful, spectacular sights.
Yeah, it's a nice day. On the way up, you can look to the left here, down and see the road that we drove up on the way up. We'll be back down there shortly. The people who work at the Mount Washington Observatory work up there throughout the entire year. They have to make reports of the local weather conditions to the National Weather Service every hour of every day. Same people don't get stuck up there forever. They work in shifts. One crew will go up, they'll spend 7 days and 7 nights. They'll go down, another crew will go up, they'll spend a week, and they'll alternate.
Oh, wow.
In the summer when they change shifts, they just drive cars and trucks up and down the road, just like we're doing right now. In the winter, when all the snow comes, they switch over to a large snowcat that runs on tracks like a big bulldozer, climbs right up over the snow. It used to be the only way to get to the top of the mountain in winter was to work up there, ride up and down in the snowcat, or be a winter hiker and climb up and down. A couple of years ago, the observatory started offering winter educational trips. If you're interested in a real adventure, go to their website where they post a schedule and pick out when you want to go, depending on what you'd like to learn about the mountain. Each week they have different instructors up there who'll teach you about the history, or the geology, or the weather. They meet you at the base of the road, and you get to ride up the road in the winter in the big snowcat. Getting there is definitely half the fun. This section of the road gets totally drifted in with snow in the winter, and the snowdrift takes on the same angle as the slope. When the snowcat comes up through, he doesn't plow all the way down to the road surface. He just squares off the top of the drift, so he's running level. So when you come up through here in January, you can be 10 feet above the road on top of the snow.
Have you had any bad accidents with your people?
No.
Oh, good.
Once you get up on top, you go inside, learn about whatever the subject is for that session. You get to go right into the weather room, see all the weather instruments and computers and maps they use to keep track of the weather. You help prepare the evening meal, have supper with the crew, watch the sun set out through the big windows at the observatory, spend the night, get up early in the morning, watch the sun rise, come right up out of the ocean, have a little breakfast, then they load you up and bring you back down. The top of the mountain is a beautiful place to visit in winter. We'll get quite a bit of snow down here. But up top, because of all the wind and all the snow blows away. But everything up there does become totally encrusted with ice. It's called rime ice. All the buildings, all the antennas get covered with ice. When the sun comes out, it's beautiful. It's like a crystal palace. But it's also a little bit dangerous. Up there in winter, the temperature can get down to 30, 35 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit. Winds are stronger in winter. They'll get up over 100 miles an hour and stay there for days on end. That takes the wind chill right off the chart. So if you're planning on visiting the top of Mount Washington in winter, bring some warm clothes along.
Oh, yeah.
Winter tours. We have a couple of these vans that are four-wheel drive. In the fall, we take the wheels and tires off, put a track system on, and we're able to give winter tours. We turn around in that parking area we just went by. And usually I'll bring people down here and let them out for pictures right here because it's really beautiful and all these mountains are all covered with snow. And boy, the air is clear. Sometimes I can't let them out, it's too cold or too windy, but some days it's just beautiful and you can get out and take pictures.
You must have a big crowd at foliage time too.
It's our busiest time. As we work our way down around this big U-turn called the Horn, you want to take a last good look around, take any last minute pictures you might want to take, because we're just about to go back into the forest. These will be your last panoramic views from Mount Washington on this beautiful day. Several competitions here on the road each year. As I tell you about these events, you want to keep in mind the road is 8 miles in length and there's a vertical gain of 4,600 feet. All of the races are one-way events. They start at the bottom and race to the top. There is no racing down. It's uphill all the way.
Wow.
First race always takes place here the first weekend in June. It's our annual running race. Each year, over 1,000 runners come here from all around the country and around the world to run up the road. The starting line is right down by the highway. The finish line is on top, right in front of the building with the chains on it, where we parked this afternoon. The running record stands at 56 minutes and 41 seconds. There used to be just one day each year that we allowed bicycles to use the road. It was our annual bicycle race. But in recent years, every time we open registration for the bike race, we get twice as many people wanting to take part as we have space for. So a couple of years ago, we added a second bicycle race to accommodate everyone. They start at the bottom and pedal to the top. Some would like to ride their bicycles back down, but we can't allow that. It would be much too dangerous. They'd wear out their brakes in no time at all. So we have support vehicles up there to bring down all the bikes and riders when the racing's done. For many years, the bicycle record and the running record were very close. Less than a minute separated the two. But as the bicycles have become much more sophisticated in recent years, the bicycle record has been dropping much faster than the running record. It now stands at 49 minutes and 24 seconds. About a month ago, we held the Climb to the Clouds here. The Climb to the Clouds is one of the oldest motorsporting events in North America. They've been racing cars up this road since 1904. The Cars start at the bottom and race to the top. But unlike the runners and the bicyclists,
Do you have any hikers?
unlike the bikers and the runners who all start together, the cars race one at a time against the clock. Then when they all get up there, they parade down slowly,
Race is all set for hikers.
have lunch,
Thank
and
you.
do it all again in the afternoon.
Do you know what kind of cars they use? Or?
Oh yeah. I'm the pit steward, so I know all the cars. I know all the drivers. There's classes for all different types of cars, from full-on 650 horsepower rally cars
Okay.
to sprint cars, open wheel racers, all the way down to vintage cars.
Nice.
The record was broken this year by Frank Higgins from Isle of Man off the coast of Ireland. He drove his Subaru rally car up the road in 6 minutes and 11 seconds. That's an average speed of
13 to 7.
almost 82 miles an hour
Oh my
on a
God.
road that has a couple of turns. It's a good idea to slow down for. If you're going to slow for the turns and keep your average up, you have to make up time on the straightaways. On the long straightaway below halfway, we set up radar, and Jerry Driscoll from Vermont went through the radar in his sprint car at 116 miles an hour.
Oh my God.
It's a spectator event. People come to watch. Some stay down the bottom, walk through the pits, check out the cars, watch them start. We have cameras all along the way and a big Jumbotron TV at the bottom, so you can watch the progress of the car as it goes up the road. Some people like to go to the top, watch them finish. Most, though, catch a ride with us. We shuttle them up to just above halfway there. They climb up on the rocks, have a picnic, watch the cars go around the corners, then up the dirt section. We had 70 cars this year in one trailer truck, just the cab, not the trailer. It was a Freightliner, all decked out for racing. He holds all the records at Pikes Peak. Now he holds the record here for semi-truck cabs. Had a big wing on the back, had 2 turbochargers. The thing put out 1,250 horsepower, laid rubber all over the place. All this rubber you see on the road, most of it's from that trailer truck.
What is the date of this? It's an annual event?
Yep, middle of June.
Middle of June.
The truck was totally awesome up on the dirt. 4-wheel drifts. You can see the rubber on the road here. We're about to be
Maybe
down-
we should skip NASCAR one year and come up for this instead.
A lot of fun. We're about to go down the Raymond Grade, one of the steepest parts of the road. We're going to be losing quite a bit of elevation in a short period of time, which could cause your ears to plug up if they haven't already. If you just swallow or yawn occasionally, that'll equalize the air pressure, and you should be able to hear once again.
Did they have many accidents when they were in the race, the road race?
A few. Nobody's ever seriously hurt, you know, because they're all wearing helmets and fire suits. They've got roll cages and harnesses, so when they go off, it's not as bad as if a private car was to go off. We did have one car burned to the ground this year.
Wow.
Driver got out okay though. A little disappointed.
Oh, yeah.
Took his car home in a basket. Since we've been together, we have not seen any large animals. But as we get further into the afternoon here and it starts to cool off, you really need to keep your eyes open. Each year there are a number of accidents in this area involving automobiles and moose. Moose can be seen at any time of day, but they're more active at twilight when they're moving from where they rest up in the daytime in the heat of the day to where they feed in the cool evening hours when there's nobody around. Everybody who comes to New Hampshire wants to see a moose, but you don't want to hit one with your car. A big bull can stand well over 6 feet tall at the shoulder, weigh close to 1,000 pounds, and do an awful lot of damage. If you do see moose along the edge of the road and you want to photograph, be careful pulling over, don't cause an accident. When you do get safely pulled over, roll down the window, take all your pictures out the window. Don't do like some of these folks we see up here. Don't get out of the car, walk up to a moose to get a close-up. Don't tell your friend, or especially the kids, to go stand next to the moose. They have their picture taken. These animals are not especially friendly, especially the females, who are very protective of their calves. They will charge and run you right over. You don't need to be run over by 1,000 pounds of moose. If you see a black bear, all of that goes double. Don't ever get between a mother bear and her cubs. She can really ruin your day. If you see any of the big animals out there, stop, take pictures, but do it from inside the car. We heard a report the other day from one of the campgrounds where people actually took their kids and put them on a moose to have their picture taken like they were riding a horse.
What?
That's pretty hard to believe, but really not when you... It's crazy.
How was the outcome?
Apparently this was a pretty docile moose.
They were lucky then.
That's the campground keeper got him off and got him safely away. Chance to come back in late September, early October. It's a beautiful time to be here when all the leaves change. Drive up through the lower forest is spectacular, and the views from up high looking down into the valley are very, very cool when all the leaves change. Down in here, there's a big rock with a tree growing right on top of it.
Oh wow, look at that.
You want to take a picture?
Yeah.
You got a clear shot, or you want me to back up, or what?
Back up a little bit if you don't mind, please.
Say when.
Hey,
This guy thinks we got a moose going here or something. Good? Everybody good?
Yep.
I'm surprised they didn't all jump out to go see the moose.
This has been great. You're an excellent tour guide. Excellent.
I'm starting to lose my voice here.
Oh my God, yeah, 6 times a day. And you used to do it 10 times a day? Oh.
No.
Oh.
6 is the max you can get into an 8-hour day.
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
We had 10 drivers.
Oh, okay.
10 times a day. Jeepers. Just like most people who make their living in the tourist trade, gratuities make up a very important part of our income. If you feel that a tip was deserved today, it would be greatly appreciated.